Welcome to Vegan Ultra. I'm your inspiration guide, Adam Gallus, on this epic quest for health, hope, and happiness, in which I lose 150 pounds in 12 months on a whole food vegan diet while walking 3,000 miles to prove to myself, my family, and everyone watching on YouTube that we can all become the ultra versions of ourselves if we give it a chance and are powered by plants. I've already lost 103 pounds in 29 weeks. And in today's training and diet of champions update, I want to share with you what I was eating and how I did when I was sick. So, unfortunately, this illness is kind of going around my family, and I'm actually feeling a bit worse today. You might actually hear that here in my voice. So, I probably won't be able to do the planned weight training for at least Monday. I'll see what I can do on Wednesday with my personal trainer. Might have to cancel that like I did this previous week. But let us zoom in here and see how week 13 did. Remember, this was last Sunday. I was too sick to do this update. I had done 3.5 miles or 3.5 marathons, 90 miles of walking that week. Now, in week 14, I was sick. So what happened is this. So with this illness, you have a bit of exhaustion, a little bit of a muscle fatigue. So I went ahead, I tried doing leg day. Now, this was a mistake because I wouldn't say I necessarily hurt myself while doing the exercises, but the next day I was so sore. You gotta listen to your body, and my body was telling me, you are not doing anything on Tuesday. Complete recovery day. Normally, I do some walking on Tuesday. So I lost a day of walking, and that's why this week I only did 3 marathons worth of walking, and I am definitely listening to my body and not pushing myself on Monday. Although I will point out that my personal trainer did give me some piece of advice about a piece of equipment that could potentially be a game changer for anyone who doesn't like going to the gym and doing weights, but can use basically just walking or any other regular exercise and can turn any kind of cardio into weight training. Stay tuned for next week's Sunday training and diet update. But to summarize, so thus far, basically 6.5 marathons in the last 2 weeks while sick. That's pretty impressive. 942 miles total in 14 weeks, 36 marathons. Basically, I walked from Seattle to San Diego, averaging 9.6 miles a day every day. Keep in mind, Saturdays and Sundays are actually days of rest where I just walk my dog around 6-7 miles in total. Total calories, according to Fitbit, almost 167,000 calories, almost 50 pounds of fat, and I lost 103 pounds in 29 weeks, averaging 3.6 pounds per week on average. Now remember, not every week is a loss and not every week is a big loss, but consistency is the solution, the salvation to obesity and poor health. So let's talk about what kind of diet permitted this. Now, remember that sick weeks, this is kind of, this can throw people for a loop. So I basically was listening to my body and eating generally more than I had planned. You can see here I ate 8 pounds of tangerines, 6 pounds of apples, 4 pounds of grapes. I had some extra cinnamon almond milk, and I was feeling so bad on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that I went ahead and I finished up all my high fiber spinach wraps, which are both high in protein and high in fiber, made with either flax or spinach. So this increased the amount of sodium for the week. You can see here 3,800 milligrams per day, and the overall calories, this was because, of course, I had this, what I'm calling my Vegan Ultra Athlete Minestrone for the week. So what I've been doing for the last few weeks is, rather than making a brand new crock pot of soup for every day, I go ahead and I basically make a few days worth. I kind of batch cook it, and then each day I'll go ahead and add a little bit more for based on what ingredients I need for the next day. I plan it out, of course, a week in advance, but you can basically see this is a lot of calories. This is about 60% of all my calories just from the soup. So what is basically in this soup? So let's take a look. You can see we've got the quinoa, the daily serving of whole grains. We've got the root blend from Great Value. So this is Walmart. Beets, carrots, parsnips, sweet potatoes, lots of greens, so spinach and kale. I love collard greens, king of calcium when it's available at Walmart. Beans, beans, beans. On weight training days, 2 cans of beans. On every other day, 1 can of beans, because you got the fiber, you've got the healthy carbs, you've got the protein. And I'm also eating down these plant basics, pea and soy proteins as well. Now, you can't see here because it's so many ingredients, but there's also other vegetables, mushrooms every single day. Remember the science-based magic of spermidine, and mushrooms have the highest concentration. So, and of course, lots and lots of spices. Remember the science-based magic of spices. So I'm talking turmeric, black pepper, ginger, garlic, onion, of course, all that hot and spicy, the cayennes, the paprikas, and cumin, which is natural pain relief, the highest salicylate concentration, the active ingredient in aspirin. So you can see that lots and lots of calories, massive amounts of protein and carbs, the fats relatively modest in fat, but very little saturated fat, and packed with those healthy mono and polyunsaturated fat. And you can see complete amino acid profile for this protein. And of course, the sodium relatively high here because I'm still eating down some of the plant strong chilies, for example. I have 1 more week of those to go. But what I generally like to do is the no salt added beans and all ingredients. You can find that at Walmart. But if you look at, importantly, anti-inflammatory. Remember, when you're sick, this is where it's going to be very, very helpful. Well, look at this. Omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. 3 or 4 or less is generally optimal. Boom, 0.35. Look at that potassium to sodium ratio. Even with that elevated sodium, potassium, the anti-sodium, government recommends 2+ ratio. And I came in at 8.3 at least for the soup. So if we look at the other parts here, I had plenty of pistachios as well. Remember, the science-based magic of nuts. You want to eat nuts every day for optimal health. And I also had the Ripple milk. This is the pea milk that's rich in protein. You can see each bottle, which is 48 ounces, so 6 cups, 48 grams of protein, compared to the almond milk, which has 8 times less. So on non-weight training days, I have some almond milk. Here I had an extra dose of both just because I wanted to make sure I had enough energy. So if we look at the overall counts, about 3,200 calories per day. Now I'm burning about 4,500 to 5,000 calories. So this is still a nice deficit, although it is above the 27 to 2,800 that the NIH body weight planner says for my current level of exercise. Now I can, with more walking, eat 3,000. So if we look at the macros, 186 grams per day of fiber. 100 to 150 grams is optimal, what we evolved eating according to anthropologists. So I went way over on the fiber and I felt absolutely fantastic. That protein, 187. So what does that mean? That's 1.9 grams per kilo, and 0.8 to 1.8 is recommended, up to 2.2 or 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I went over that because Well, largely because I did not realize that I would not be doing weight training on Wednesday and Friday, so I didn't need to. So this coming week, I'm going to adjust my soup recipe because I just don't need this much protein. But so I'm going to go ahead and try to bring down the calories a bit. But you can see here 18% fat, just 2% saturated fat. Remember, 6% or less is what the American Heart Association recommends, 10% or less from the U.S. government, 21% protein, and 61% healthy carbs. So there you go, the diet of champions that has helped me to do 3 marathons even while sick, and continue to lose weight at a prodigious rate of almost twice as much as most people are able to achieve, all while eating more than 2,500 calories per day. That is truly the science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery of a whole food plant-based diet. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Be patient with me as I recover from these illnesses. If I am not able to make a video every day for the next week, you'll know why. But please like this video to help other people find it on YouTube, and consider trying a plant-based Blue Zone vegan lifestyle. Really, it has helped me lose 103 pounds in 6 months. And despite the current cough and voice, I am the healthiest, happiest version of myself that I have ever been. And this really is the way nature intended for all of us to live. It can help anybody become the ultra version of themselves if you give it a chance and are powered by plants.